Hi guys. So this is a new thing for me. Camera, microphone, headset so I can hear my awful voice. I mean, awesome voice. This is a test, like a long test. This is my first episode because I'm gonna tell a story today as my test. So, um I hope things go well. I have my screen in front of me, my camera here, my light here. I mean, this is a test. This is a trial run and an episode at the same time, so I can figure out what works, what doesn't work, what's awful, what's amazing. So, I don't know if I put it down here. If I put it down here, am I too loud? Am I too quiet? There's things I don't quite know yet. I don't know yet. But I wanted to start talking and doing YouTube again, and so obviously here I am. I have some stories to tell. If you saw the thumbnail, the title of the video, I'm gonna be talking about when I worked at Dollar Tree, and it is a lot to unravel. I mean, not a lot, but it was a lot. As much as I can tell, without slamming the industry itself, because the concept of Dollar Tree is pretty badass. I mean, you want something for cheap. Everybody wants cheap things. Good things, cheap. And, I mean, as far as me working there and then being a shopper regularly still, it's pretty fucking awesome. So I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty here. I got my notes on my phone, so we keep ourselves on track a little bit. I'm gonna start with the background of this storytelling of Dollar Tree, because it was a glorious time, especially for everyone. 2020. Right. It was in a town that I grew up in. A horrible spot in the town I grew up in. When you have really good cheap shit in a town with a shitty location, there's bound to be issues and problems and free entertainment, or at least entertainment I'm literally getting paid to watch. So, when I worked at Dollar Tree, I mean, my first day was off the rip. It was an interview, and then it turned into, oh my god, our employee just called out. Do you feel ready to start learning? And I was like, do I? Awesome. That should have been a red flag right there. That they literally had a call out and they had to bring a person that isn't even trained on the register. That was me. And that brings me to this first story I want to tell, which is basically, I call it wet socks. And now, off the rip, you're probably like, wet socks? That's self-explanatory. No, it's not. What, did you find wet socks in the aisle? Kinda. No. It was just a nice, stormy, rainy night. And I remember just doing my rounds. When you're cashiering, you're also kind of just want to go throughout the store. If there's, shit on the floor, a hazard, shit out of place, whatever the case may be, you kind of just walk around and make sure things are, as good as they can be. So this one night, it was raining, it was pouring out. I was just doing my shit, doing my thing. And I kind of, heard, a quick, 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 quick. You know, picture SpongeBob walking. That sound when SpongeBob's walking. That. So I literally was I went into radar mode to try to detect where the was coming from. It sounded like it was in every direction. It was crazy. So I'm listening. I'm trying to detect. I'm looking out. I just got a glimpse of myself. So I was looking out, and obviously I didn't know where it was coming from until I saw footprints. I saw wet fucking footprints across my path, and I was like, and then it hit me that somebody was walking around my store with wet, squishy socks. Slapping on the tile, squishy socks. down and around, and I'm like, I don't want to make it obvious that I'm trying to chase them to find out who the fuck it is. Like, you just don't want to be like, hey, it's you. Like, you can't do that. I mean, you could. You'd probably, get shot or something. So, I try to do, like, my little detective work. So, I'm like, I'm going around, and I'm like, okay, it turned left. Like, I'm, like, taking notes. I'm like, I turned left. And then I saw this woman with just socks on, soaking fucking wet. I was just like, hi. Like, I didn't know what to say. Like, you could just be like, ma'am. I literally asked this woman, like, how are you? And she was just like, I'm doing great. I'm like, I bet you are. I had to end up being like, ma'am, you can't really walk around, like, in my store with wet socks. Those tracks over there, those are yours. It was like, ma'am, please, like, just help me out, because I'm gonna have to mop up your shit in a minute. So, she ended up leaving. That's kind of the first story. I started lightly, started quick. The second one kind of goes a little deeper. We all like sleep. I like sleep. You like sleep. My neighbor likes sleep. My dog likes sleep. My boss likes sleep. Everybody likes sleep. Okay? I get it. There's time and there's place. So it started off as a normal day. Like it always does. I was just doing my thing, I was cashiering. I was doing my job. And then this lady comes in with her man. And I'm like, hi, how are you? And she literally was like, are we good? And he was like, yeah, we good. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, beep. Then it came time to pay. This is where it gets good. And I'm like, hi, all right, I'll be 5, blah, blah, blah. And here she is. Got it, I'm sorry. I looked up at the guy again and I was like, we both just see that? Like, pause the situation. Try to do like a telepathic, like, he was just like, he was in his own realm. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't think he was there with us. I don't think she was there either. So she's like, I got it. At this point, I'm like, all right, you're paying. Like, just get the fuck out of here. Just, like, got the card in. We're good. Next step. And she starts nodding off on the card reader, like the pin pad where you, like, type your pin in. The man kind of scooched her out of the way, and he was like, typed her pin in. Like, oh, we doing that? We're doing this. Oh. So she's like almost KO, slumped across the pin pad, and I'm like, would you like a receipt? like, I didn't know what to do, so I'm like, you want a receipt? And he's just like, nah, thanks. And like guides her body out in a way and starts like guiding her out the door with their things. And I was just like, speechless. And there was nobody else in line, so I was all alone witnessing this. Like, that was like, anybody to the register, please. Like I said, I like my sleep. I don't think that was sleep though. I think that was drugs. But I was fucking shook. My world was like quaking. To my next story. I was doing my rounds, like I said, the first story, like, sometimes you just go around and check to see what's up. This time, like, when I was doing my checks, I started noticing a pattern. Started seeing things misplaced, and that's fine, like, that happens. People are lazy fucks. Like, they'll be like, don't let this throw makeup in the chips. Like, problem with this is that these patterns started arising the spot I checked 2 minutes ago. I know I didn't just see the shaving cream next to the chocolate. One must have been real lazy, didn't want to shave. I don't know. Picked chocolate over doing a little cleanup. I don't know. The next thing I know, I'm in, like, the next aisle, and I noticed, like, a burrito, a frozen burrito, next to, like, the little travel bottles a frozen burrito, and I was like, I just checked this aisle. This was not here. Why am I starting to see shit? And then all of a sudden I get like a psst, come here, like from my assistant manager, and she's like, dude, we got someone, taking things and just purposely putting things in places. And I'm going to tell you something about this. It's technically damaging products, especially if, like, say you take ice cream and hide it in the clothes. Damaged out. We can't sell that anymore, So me and the assistant manager were like, she turned this way, like, hey, well, aisle 5. So now we're working together to try to find whoever's actually doing this. If you don't see it's happening, like the person doing it, you can't say shit. You can't accuse somebody. If you didn't see it, tough crap, basically. So we were trying to catch the person doing it so we could actually be like, hey, we saw you do this, get the fuck out. All of a sudden I hear someone from the line up front go, oh, there she goes. So now I'm like, I'm like, where is she? What are you talking about? And then I see her going for the door. So I go for the door too. Oh, wow, how convenient. She tried running out with makeup, all sorts of makeup and shit stuffed in bags. So as she's on her way out, I also push open the door, and I'm like, ma'am, you can't leave with any of this. She goes, I wasn't gonna need any of it anyway, and like threw it all in my face, and now I'm like flash banged with makeup. I'm like, wow, and fucking guns it. Now, sure, go ahead. Forest run. We have all the stuff. It's at my feet. Basically it's fine. But yeah, it was very fun time trying to basically play investigator in my store. All for makeup. That's why I assume drugs. So this leads down to my favorite story of Dollar Tree. Like my favorite of all time. This is probably the one I'll tell anybody first. Of course, it starts with the same way every other story I have starts. It was a normal day. This lady comes up. I remember she was just a blonde woman, maybe late 20s, early 30s. Like, she had some life to her. She definitely had some life to her. She started putting things down on the register, the belt. And I'm just like, hi, how are you? And that is what started it all. How are you? I literally was like, oh, God help me. She's like, I'm great. I'm like, I bet you are. And she was like, guess what? I'm like, what? I got a tattoo. And that once you get it, you probably want to show the whole damn world. I get it. There was a big problem to this one. I just got a tattoo. I'm like, oh yeah? And she was like, yeah. Wanna see? Yeah, like, girl, let me see what you got. This is where I made my 10th mistake. Look! And pulls out her left white ass cheek at my register. And at first I was like I didn't look, and then I was like, oh! It was a banana, like, unpeeling itself, like a little, like, banana. Don't you think it's great? I'm like, yeah, that is the best tattoo I've ever seen. That's amazing. Oh my God. And she's just like, it hurts. It's on my ass. I'm like, yeah. Beep, 537. Beep. She was just like, like giggling to herself, typing in her pin, taking her thing. She was like, have a good night. I'm like, you too. Please get home. Like, stop going places. You're gonna end up selling your organs next. Like, stop. I never really had an interaction that was like ill, except one time. Maybe I should probably tell. Basically, there was a mom, a dad, and a little girl. They seemed like attitude-y from the jump. Basically, when they were putting their stuff down, like, you know, you can do stuff with attitude. She was like, put this on the register. Put this on the register. This goes here. That goes there. I was like, oh boy. So now I'm starting to, obviously, boop, boop, boop. Just doing my thing. I'm pretty speedy with it. Didn't want to make conversation. They seemed like people I just wasn't going to be like, hey, how was your day? Tell me what you ate last night. Like, no, I didn't want to get into it. So I was just going and not really looking up. All of a sudden, it comes down to whatever. It's mostly food, by the way. I want to make this very clear. It was mostly food. Give her the price, and it comes down to like $3. And she goes, that isn't right. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, it's right there. Like, look, bitch. Like, so I go through the list, and I go back, and I find the culprit. So I go see it. I find out it's like a little something stupid. I'm like, yeah, it was this, and the 2 other items was actually hers. So it was like, fine. And she was like, I didn't put that on the register. And then I kind of just glanced over to the child, the unattended child that was just like touching things, whatever she wanted. And I'm like, oh, she might have snuck something on and I didn't see it. And she was like, oh, well, you need to get rid of that. And I was like, see, I can't, because you kind of already, no, she paid with EBT. And the rule is if you pay with EBT, which it has to go first, by the way, it has to go first. So EBT first. If you can't pay the rest, say, like, that was $3, we can't, like, stop the transaction and, like, cancel it, do whatever. We can't reverse it, nothing. You already technically, think of it like, you already sent me the money, and it's already in my pocket. Like, we can't be like, oh, never mind, like, take it back. Like, it's already through. So she's making a whole fit about how I didn't catch her child putting something on my register. And I wanted to be like, ma'am, I am not here to babysit your kid. Obviously, I wanted to say that, couldn't. She wanted to make a whole deal. She was like, call your manager. I'm like, okay, I'll call my manager. Bubba Watt to register 1. So we're sitting there, and that's that awkward wait, like, you're pissed. Your child doesn't know how to, like, stay in line, apparently. You can't watch your child. Your man isn't doing shit. He's just standing there watching it unfold, and I'm just trying to do my job and hating every second of it. Finally, my manager comes over, and she's like, oh, what's up? And before I can even start explaining what happened, this woman was like, I'm being told you can't give me my money back. Like, and I was like, I stopped her, and I was like, yeah, she paid through EBT, didn't realize her daughter put something on the register, she doesn't have the money to pay for it. And after them arguing back and forth about something I basically said the first round, my manager did something, she kind of like pushed it through, I don't know what she did. Either way, it ended up being like taken care of, and I was just like, do you need a chill pill and a class on how to watch your kid from putting things on the register you don't want? And how to teach your man to, I don't know, calm you down. Like, it was so much. But that was really, like, the only thing I can think of that actually had me, like, not wanting to be in that spot. Everything else I was basically handling fine. This got long very fast, so I'm probably going to end it right about here, but I hope the footage gets out to you guys. Hopefully everything goes well. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully my editing goes okay. And you're watching this on YouTube and having a laugh. That's Dollar Tree. It was great. It sucked. I loved it. I hated it. I hope you enjoyed it, basically. And I hope. Why am I saying I hope so much? It's because I care. Have a good night, everybody. I'm tired. Peace out.